Yeah. We gotta rise up. Rise up. Yo. Go for broke, give everything, better yet give your all. They don't wanna see you win, nevertheless show evolve. Wanna see my demise, you can be in for a surprise. Cause the sun ain't about to set, no, it's about to rise. Come hell or high water, we gotta rise up, despite the storms of... All right, what's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you to this week's episode of the Stage is Mine podcast. I'm your host, Terrence Till. This week, it is my honor and privilege to bring to the podcast Russell Alexander II. Russell, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you feeling? Thanks for having me.
Doing pretty good, man. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
Yeah, we'll start it off, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm originally from Selma, Alabama. Grew up, in the country most part. From there, when I was 10 years old, moved to Montgomery. That's where I started singing in choirs and stuff like that. Come from a musical background, musical family. In elementary school, started choir, like I said, through Mount Middle School, kept up with that, participated in band for a while, played the alto sax. And then toward the end of my middle school years, I saw my first musical, which is Little Shop of Horrors. And it changed my life. I was going to deliver babies, funny enough. And then I saw that musical change my life, decided theater is what I wanted to do. And so parents were very supportive of that. And from high school on into college, I studied theater, graduated from University of Alabama at Birmingham and got my degree. And after that, moved to Atlanta, joined an apprenticeship. And did some work and started to integrate into the professional theater world up here. And since then, just been working around the city. I was introduced to the cruise ship industry and singing and performing there as an entertainer. So that's also a little bit of what I do now and what I'm doing. So it's a little bit about me and my journey in this artistic world, I guess.
What was life like growing up in Selma?
It was really simple. From my memory, I was a child when I went there, but it was a very small town. Everyone knows each other, so I was always surrounded by family. My cousins were down the street. There was always good food, good singing. Like I said, I come from a musical family. And so always surrounded by music, always surrounded by family. And I come from a pretty big family. I'm the oldest of 5 altogether. Both my parents remarried, had other kids, but yeah, I've always been surrounded by siblings, and it was a lot of fun growing up there. But also, to be honest, we know the state that Selma is in is one of the most dangerous cities in Alabama now, and there's not much going on as far as opportunity there, jobs or anything. So even from a young age, to be honest, I knew that that music was going to be something that I would have liked to pursue in a perfect world. And I knew I wouldn't ever be able to do that in that place. So even from a young age, I knew it was as much as I loved being there and being surrounded by, the people and the things I was surrounded by at the time. I knew it was somewhere that I would eventually have to leave if I wanted to, branch out and do more.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were in BTW, that's where you went to school, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What were your fondest memories of taking theater?
So I was introduced to theater my 6th grade year. I got a scholarship to go to the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, and we did the TAMING of the SHREW. And it was just a week-long thing that we put together. So I was kind of familiar with theater. And then I got to BTW, and right off the bat, my teacher, shout out to Mr. Rodney Creech. But Mr. Creech, he heard me sing and he pulled me aside. And he was just come in, boy, sing this song. And so he would sit at the piano and he would play, and he's teaching me how to do these different things with my voice. And, next thing I know, he announces the play for that season was going to be, that spring was going to be The Wiz. And all this time he was just yeah, you're going to be Scarecrow. And I was just well, there's no audition. Mr. Creech said, we've been working on it all year. I've been calling you aside doing this and doing that. So those are some of my my favorite memory, that is my fondest memory of
Yeah.
someone seeing something in me and like just taking the time. And then aside from that, just like all the little competitions and things that we used to do, the little field trips, but also just meeting and networking with a lot of people that now that we're older and like actually working, you see some of these people be like, remember in, college we did this, or in high school we did this. So that's really
Right.
cool now.
And when you went to UAB, correct me if I'm wrong, you were recruited to go there as far as being a part of the theater program. So how did that
Yeah.
feel that somebody saw that in you? And then, same question, kind of like, what were your memories from BTW? What were your memories at UAB?
I was hyped. Like
Yeah.
that was my first time to say, oh, like they're recruiting me. And they were supposed to start a musical theater program, is what it was. Um, and then when I got there, um, we ended up not being able to start that program because at the time, the University of Alabama, the main campus, they had a musical theater BFA. And at the time they said, well, if y'all get a musical theater BFA, that's going to compete with our program, even though we had the better program. So there was some things there. And so we couldn't do it. But while we were there, my first year, I took a musical theater course that they did. And I was in there with all seniors as a freshman.
Mm.
And so like just knowing that they saw that in me was really cool. And like, so I was really excited to get to college and and be a part of the theater world. And two fond memories that I always have. First was the first musical that I did there. It's called Bad Boy. I have a book sitting right over there. I wish I can go grab it. But it was the first show of my freshman year, and I said I was just gonna sit back and I wasn't gonna audition my first year. And my teacher, her name was Lexi Dorset. She's on Broadway right now doing a tour. But she heard me sing and she was just like, you're going to audition for that show. And I was like, no, I just want to sit back. And she was like, no, you're going to audition. She called me to our office, and every day, once again, we sat and we worked on the music. And she was like, okay, no, do this. And no, okay, change this. And then I went in and booked the lead. And she was like, yeah, I told you you're going to do it. Like I went back and I was like, Lexi, guess what? She was like, yeah, I don't need to guess, kid. Like you did it.
Yeah.
And so like that was always very special to me. And she and I maintained a relationship off of that. And then secondly, once I got to UAB, once that was my first play, Bad Boy, and that was in April of 2013. Every semester after that, I was working. I was never not in the show. And if I wasn't on the main stage at UAB, then I was working professionally at another theater in Birmingham. So I was always doing something. And if I was also one of the few Black people that we had in our department. And honestly, a lot of the Black people in our department, as talented as they weren't being used. And so then I would be like, all right, well, I want to put this production on. So let's do this. Or, at the time I wrote a show and put all of my friends in it. And through that, then instructors was like, oh, they can act. Yeah, you got to give them a chance. You have to give them the same nurturing that someone took the time to give me, and and they were able to flourish off of that. So those are some of my favorite things looking back on. Just the amount of opportunity that I got at UAB was a perfect fit.
Right. And when you're doing theater and you see maybe not as many African Americans being given opportunities and you are being afforded those, does that put a sense of responsibility on your shoulders?
For me, yes. I felt that way. Like I said, I'm the oldest. So it's always just like, I got to do something. I got to, I have a nature to not only get it for myself, but like I want to create opportunity for other people.
Right.
And it was just wild to me as far as big. And also it kind of drove a rift between me and my friends sometimes, because they'll be like, oh, well, you're privileged. And like I've had some friends, we've fallen out over things. They were like, oh, you got that because they like you. And it was just like, no, I got it because I put in the work, but also that doesn't set me aside from you. So also let me create this platform to where they can see you shining your element as well. And that's what we did. And then, like I said, sometimes it just takes, especially for people that don't always understand African Americans, or try to understand how to relate to us, how to break down, or even to select shows that will cater to us, or like put us in these non-traditional roles. that will otherwise be played by another race.
Right.
Give them the opportunity to show you that we are just as versatile and we can exist in any space.
Mm-hmm.
And, so yeah, I felt a huge responsibility to like, hey, I do this, but like, I don't want to be your token. Like, it's room for all of these people and we can all work together. So yeah.
Yeah. What was your deciding factor to move to Atlanta?
I wanted to get into TV and film. For a while, I wanted to do Broadway, but New York was expensive. So
Right.
I was like, well, I was very interested in TV and film. So I moved here. I wanted to move here to do that. My deciding factor was we did this competition, and it's called the Southeastern Theater Conference, SETC. And there, basically, you go there pretty much your last couple of years of college, and you book theater work. And Aurora Theater was there. They were scouting for their apprentice company, and they gave an audition. And well, they saw me in the audition room, and they gave me a callback. But they were like, "Hey, we can't make callbacks, so make an appointment. Come and see us in Georgia." So I was like, "Oh, well, that's perfect." And I came up here. I toured the theater, and I love the environment. I love the quality of the shows that they put on. And it was like, oh, well, I get to come here and do theater. And then also they'll integrate me into this professional world so I can do TV and film. So yeah, it was based off of that.
Okay. Tell us about some of your acting credits, and then also, which do you prefer? Do you like theater better, or TV and film?
Some of my acting credits, as far as theater goes, professionally, I've done, funny enough, The Wiz was my first play experience, like when I got in high school, and then professionally in 2015, that was my first professional show. Same role. One of my mentors who helped me through the process in high school was actually in the show with me again in our first professional run in Birmingham. So that was The Wiz at Red Mountain Theater Company. I've also done Memphis at Red Mountain. Here in Georgia, I've been in Newsies as Crutchy here at Aurora Theater. Recently, I was at the Jenny T. Anderson Theater. We did The Wild Party, and I played Mr. Black, which is a great time and a great role. Some TV things that I've done. I did a short film this year called The Sparrow Cries at Night. It was just released not too long ago. I've done a pilot for Comedy Central. It never aired, but they're still in works, and hopefully we'll, after some rewrites, I'll be able to bring it back. But it was called Jefferson County PO. I've done some background work for Apple. I've also done some background work for Delta as well. And so, and then there's some other things that I can't talk about just yet, but I just did a project with Disney Plus that should be coming out around January, I think is when they're trying to release. But yeah, just trying to get my foot in that Marvel world. So, so yeah, those are some of the credits that I have. And I like, for different reasons. As a performer, I think I love theater and the live aspect of having an audience in front and feeding off of that type of energy. But I also love the mix of TV and film, and like actually seeing it all come together, and then having a product that will always be something that you can go back and watch, and like you can go back and experience that and stuff like that. It's also just a faster process too. It exercises a totally different muscle of your craft, and causes you, it's a very fine line between theater acting and film acting. And like there's always something to learn on a film set. Not that there isn't in theater, because there is, but right now I'm just so fascinated in how TV and film work. So like those are always some of my favorite projects to kind of work on.
Right. Yeah, because theater, you basically running through the whole show that particular night, even though you guys do months and months of prep work and blocking and stuff like that. But, you know, doing film and television, you might be like on one page, you know, for that day, and you just like doing the same takes over and over and over again.
Yeah. Both processes have their tedious moments.
Right.
I think, like you said, I think with theater though, you get more of a chance to refine it and change it. And like, you know, every show you can get deeper. You get a chance every night throughout the time that you run to kind of, you know, make adjustments and get deeper into your character. And with TV and film, it's just like you got to go in there with your decisions made, and you know, you do the work, you know, outside of the TV and film, and then you come in with your choices and like you see what works and what rocks with your partner or whatever, and then you keep it rolling. And so so yeah, I think TV and film at times, like for right now, can be a little more intimidating. But yeah, with theater and being able to do it, like right now I'm working on a Christmas show, and just like every day going into rehearsal, there's something different that we're finding and chances to like change it around and play. So for that, like I said, I always love theater for that aspect, and being able to be live and surrounded by people and like able to have fun and be in the moment. And we could do that with TV and film too, but it's just more of a like, all right, all these technical elements, we got to stand here. We got to like make sure we, you know, so yeah.
How much do you learn? How long did it take you to figure out that going to college and what you did at you know, high school as well, like helped you, you know, as far as your career goes and some of your techniques and stuff like that? Was it beneficiary, or some people never had, you know, theater or acting training?
So we talk about this all the time within like my friend group and people that are in the that when we get into all these professional processes and stuff. I went to a performing arts high school, and so much so to the point where I went and my we were a magnet school as well, so my magnet was musical theater, and it was to the point where like our GPAs in our magnet had to be higher than our like required academic GPA. So it was always like heavy hitting focus, and we're learning things and we're getting that fine tuning and that training. I thought I was ready to go pro after high school, but then, like I said, I got to college. Well, I started to see college theater and be like, oh, there's so much further, like so many more things that I need to learn. So then I went through college and did that. And I feel like college was beneficial to me because yes, I got the training, and I got to learn other things besides just acting and singing. For UAB, one thing that I love about the theater department is they taught us how to do lights. You know, they taught us how to do sound. We had to do hours in the scene shop. We had to do, I think it was 40 hours throughout the semester. We had to spend 40 of those in the scene shop. Then another year, we had to spend 20 hours in the costume shop. And throughout that time, you're building the costumes that we're going to perform in. You're building the sets that we're going to perform on. You're learning how to do these different light plots. We used to build little set models. So if we wanted to go into set design, you know how to model a stage and go in with the concept idea. You know, they taught us all these different aspects. So that way to say, even if you don't act or even if you don't sing, there's going to be something else that you can do because you have that training. I wouldn't have gotten that as quickly or for free or free as like I did in college, and coming into the professional world already knowing those skills. So by the time I made it to Aurora, you know, because I left college and was just like, okay, what else can I learn? So that was one of my reasons for choosing an apprenticeship, because I was like, okay, well, now this helped me kind of ease my foot into the professional world. Now I need like just one extra step to help me make these connections. So then I got to Aurora, and, you know, in times where I wasn't casting a show. And back then as apprentices, if you weren't in a show, you weren't getting paid that week. You know, you weren't getting paid to just be there. We're taking classes. So I was able to be like, hey, I'm not in this show, but like, what do you need? You need someone to run props. You need someone to be off stage. And they were like, actually, we do. So, you know, I felt like it was all the training that I received, yes, was beneficial. But I also tell people, like I've seen many people that come into this that have not had any formal training. And that just come in because they're talented and just have that raw talent. And even then, you know, that is great to have. I still recommend that people take classes. Even me, like I'm in theater. I'm in classes for TV and film. I'm in classes, you know, theater workshops when they come around. Just because there's always things that you can fine tune. Right. And then I tell people, if college isn't your thing, find a conservatory. And that's where you don't have to do all the academic stuff. You go and you train just for your craft. You know, so there are definitely plenty of options that you can pursue. Sure. And if school isn't your option, then find a studio around town. Like there are plenty that you can get into, and they'll give you all that knowledge. So it's ways to go out there and get it. But I do think that training in some form is always necessary, beneficial.
Yeah, let's talk about music for a minute. Okay. So not just the theater part, but you study music as well. So what do you love about music? And I know you put out a couple singles as well. So what do you love about music?
So I think music. I don't think music was my first love. Came from a gospel background, and then I heard R&B, and my dad used to preach back in the day. So like going on with him, like after my parents divorced and I'd be with my dad and, I'd be trying to sneak and sing R&B. He'd be like, sing some gospel. So then I'd sing gospel and I'd be trying to riff and run and like do these R&B things and gospel, sing it straight. So just growing up, music was always around. And so I always, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to be a singer before I was an actor. But I was just like, as I got older, I was like, oh, being a singer, that's a lot. That ain't a reality that people just go and, start to do. So, coming from that background, music was just always around me. That was the first thing I fell in love with. And then choir was always something that was easily accessible. So throughout school, I had that. And, I got into songwriting when I was younger, and I started writing for other people because I wasn't always confident in, having my own things and like taking that into a studio. So I would just write and give it away. And I'd just be like, oh, I'm just glad to be a part of the process. And then some of my friends who did features started working on like full projects, started asking me to come in the studio and do features or come in and write. And I just remember my first time going into the studio. I was like, oh, now I see what it is. I see why and I fell in love with it. And I was just like, no, I want to do this more. Yeah. And so when I can, and I haven't released as much music as I could, as many things as I have written, just because of time and like the job that I have now doesn't really allow for as much time yet. But yeah, releasing the singles, I've released a single with my friend Wesley a year ago, and it's actually just called Song, but it's his name on Apple Music is West Cam. And I've been working on releasing an EP, excuse me. So when I have time to finish all of that, it'll be coming out. But hopefully I'll be getting into some music because I have something else that's coming up that's kind of going to force me, to release things. I'm trying not to say too much. That's why I have to be very
I got you.
careful. But yeah, I have a project coming up that's going to force me to release more music that I am really excited about.
Okay. Who has influenced you over the years?
Mm.
It could be somebody from, acting or singing or something like that, or somebody that's doing both.
Influence. One of the biggest influences I think that I've had was coming into Atlanta when I got here, and once again, I hit the ground running when I got to that, and I tried to be a part of every production that I could. And I remember one of the first tasks that Aurora gave me was to be a reader in the auditions for a show called Abigail 1702. And I sat in that room, and just the amount of talent I saw coming there. And some of Atlanta's heavy hitters were coming in that room auditioning. And I remember I was on break, and one lady came up to me And she was just like, baby, who are you? What's your name? And she was just like, you are giving me everything I need in that room.
Mm.
And so like things like that. And then, having another, we were just having this conversation last night at the Susie's, a friend of mine, Deani, who's incredible. But just having her, she was one of the first people to be like, baby, you are here because you belong here. You're in this room and in this place, and where you're headed, you belong exactly where you're going. And
Right.
just having people like that speak such great things into my life, everyone throughout my life who was always took time to be like, there's something about you, there's something in you're gonna do great things, and like things like that. That's always been influential to me for like to do the best that I can, and to try to honor those great things that have been spoken over my life, because I do believe that there is power in those words, and they come from a higher being, because I don't half these people I don't know,
Right.
So I'm influenced by those type of things.
Okay.
By people that are touched and inspired by whatever it is that I give off. Whatever makes them support and show love to me the way that they do. Like that makes me be like, okay, like it's time to work. Let me give it all that I can every single time, because you never know who's watching. And even still, I have to once again, feel like I make the people proud that are feeding into me. So
what is your vision for 2023?
My vision for 2023, I'm working on, I just signed a project that I can't announce just yet, but I just signed this project, and I've been working on it for a year. Okay. And it's pretty much along the same lines of what my job is now. I'll be touring. But I'm really excited because it's the first time that I'll truly be in business for myself.
Nice.
And that's scary, but like I'm really excited about it, just for the doors it is going to open and the opportunities that I'll be able to create for my friends behind me. And what I'll be able to do, for myself, and like everything that's going to come along with that, and the things that is going to force me to do. And so like things that I said I wanted to do as a child, I was like, oh, I want to do that, but it doesn't seem real. And it's like, now, okay, it's real, buddy. So all those things you said you wanted, okay, here they are. Right. What you gonna do with it? So I'm really excited for that to happen. And there's just a couple more strings that need to be tied before everything's official. But I'm really excited just for 2023 to be a year where I think who I am as an artist will truly get to manifest itself. I'm excited to be challenged and to be to embrace a side of me that I was scared of for a while. But I also know that it's time to step onto something new and something fresh and something greater. So I'm excited for that to happen. 2023, I feel like it's going to be a great year of abundance. Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
One more question before we go to our rapid fire section. What advice would you give somebody who is interested in acting, some of the things that you're doing? Because, a lot of times, we tell people, okay, get an agent, get a manager or whatever, but sometimes people don't know how to do those things, or get a good headshot or whatever. What advice would you give somebody that they're kind of just looking at, hey, I have this dream, I have this gift in me, but I don't know what to do with it?
I would say, first of all, research is very important. It should never be a situation, and this is knowledge across the board, it should never be a situation where you're paying somebody to be your agent. Agents should make commission off the work that they book for you. You should not be paying them anything. A manager is a little different. I Personally, I don't have one at the time. I don't feel like I need one.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, find legitimate studios that are around you. If there are any in your community, there are usually online intensives that you can take. But look into some of the professional theaters that are around. Look at some of any classes that may be offered, film classes, theater classes, anything, and just make sure that they are legit. If you have any friends that you know, don't be scared to ask people for help. Um, Even if you don't know where to start, never be afraid to reach out to somebody that you do know that's, somewhere where you want to be and say, hey, I'm trying to get where you are. Do you mind? The worst they can say is no or not respond.
Mm-hmm.
But like put yourself out there because, if you set your intentions and you try to at least make a start in doing something, I feel like everything else will come around. But definitely, don't be afraid to find people that inspire you, that are doing it, that are where you are. Ask them for help. They can usually guide you in the right direction. See who they follow, you know. Go back, read up on these people, look at their bio, see what they trained at, those role models that you have, see what their training is, see what they did. If you can't afford classes or things like that, study your favorite actors, watch all their movies, see what they do, how they process, how they change. They're just as long as you that's why I said researching all things. There's everything that you can do. There's somebody that you can watch. There's somebody that you can ask. And then, join Facebook groups. Actorsaccess.com is a very easy way to get into work around. I think submissions, you pay $2 and you can get on any set. They have all the requirements and everything that you have to do. Backstage.com, there's always work there. Community theaters, paid professional theaters. But yeah, just use as many of the resources that you can find and just, ask.
Right. All right, man. So now we're going to our rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask you some questions. You just answer to the best of your capability. The first thing that comes to your mind.
There.
Favorite recording artist, as far as music artist goes.
Oh, right now I'm probably going to say Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, nice. Favorite movie.
Finding Nemo.
Okay. Favorite TV show.
Lovecraft Country.
Okay. Favorite actor and favorite actress.
Favorite actor right now, I think would be Jonathan Majors. Favorite actress. Favorite actress. Oh man, I can't remember her name. Her face is right here. I'm going to say Lupita.
Okay. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? I like to be outside. I like to be physical. Playing sports. I like to bowl. I can't skate, but I'll try. I like to be doing something active. Yeah.
Favorite places to travel?
The Caribbean, any island. I like. Also, Canada is really nice. I enjoy my time up there. And New Orleans because I always eat great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Favorite food?
Favorite food, soul food as a whole. Yeah.
You're stuck on the island for a year. What 3 albums are you taking with you?
Oh man. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
Give me time to think on that one.
Yeah. Hot or cold?
Hot.
Any actor or singer that you would like to collaborate with that would be like a bucket list or a dream come true?
Singer Patti LaBelle. An actress for me, Loretta Devine.
Oh yeah, man, she's great.
Yeah.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
One of the best concerts I've ever been to was a small concert from this group called Tank and the Bangers. A friend of mine plays in the band for them, and they did a small concert in Birmingham, and it was a really great experience. Yeah.
Okay. And what motivates you?
My family, my loved
All right.
ones.
Okay. The three albums.
Okay, the three albums. I'm gonna take
I
Stevie
couldn't. I
Wonder's.
know that's a tough question for me. Oh
It
my God, man,
is
that's crazy.
three. I'm gonna take Stevie's songs in the key of love.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. Um, oh man, I have to take oh, this is killing me. Three. Um, I'm trying to look. This supposed to be rapid fire, and you got me. This supposed to, what's in my library? Um, oh, I'm gonna have to take J. Cole's Forest Hills Drive. That's one of my favorite rap albums. And there's gonna have to be a Kendrick album for me too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
And when
torn
is
between, yeah, it's some by Kendrick.
okay?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Kendrick album? To me,
Right
it's
now,
to Pimp a Butterfly.
that's what I'm saying. To Pimp a Butterfly is probably one of my favorites, hands down. I'm also
Yeah.
really vibing with his latest drop,
Yeah.
Mr. Morale and the Big
Oh yeah.
Steppers.
Yeah. I just saw the concert.
But oh, how was it?
Yeah, I went to it. It was incredible, man. It was incredible. Like
And
he got
yeah,
busy,
this is a
man. It was like a 3 hour concert.
yeah,
Like you got your money's worth. You know what I'm saying?
that's good. I want to see Kendrick in concert. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
Hands down. But yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly, like I still go back and listen to it and find something new.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Last question. What do you want your legacy to be, man? Like what's something that you want to build towards when
I
you
want
retire and you're like, hey, I'm proud I was able to do all the things I wanted to do.
um when I look back, I want to be able to um say that I left behind something that will continue after me.
Mm-hmm.
Um I used to say I wanted to own a theater so that way I could employ people. But one thing I've learned about myself is, first of all, there's a lot of business that goes into running the theater that I don't think I that will take my love away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to have a studio of some type that helps artists from places like where I grew up in Selma that don't have access and don't know where to start. That don't have access to um, these expensive training classes and courses, that I just have a dream and they're passionate about it. Or maybe they did have all this training and now they don't know what to do next. I want to be able to have something that is a liaison between where they are and where they want to go. Because like I said, I love helping people. I believe that there is room for everybody. Um, and I one thing that I always pray about, and I tell God, like, and he knows this, but I don't want all of it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I see, there's too many people around me that are also deserving in any way that I can help them do anything or achieve anything, even if it's not acting, if it's not singing. Like, I want to be able to be a vessel and to be used, to the best of my ability, and to say, like, you know, I want people to be able to say, well, Russell, he gave everything he could, and he did all that he could. Yeah.
Anybody that's interested in learning more about you, how can they link up with you on social media, or you have a website that you can share?
Yes, my website is my name, RussellAlexanderII.com. I'm just now starting to get that back up and running. So updates and things will always be posted there. There's a couple of things that are linked to the Christmas show that I'm in up in Aurora Theater in Lawrenceville. Social media, I am _ Alexander II on Instagram. On Facebook, once again, Russell Alexander II. Otherwise, you run into my dad. So please put the second at the end. Y'all don't need Russell Senior on your timelines.
Right.
But yeah, those are the ways that you can connect with me. And like I said, feel free, any questions, anything like that, feel free to reach out. I do my best to respond to everyone. And yeah, I love meeting people. So
yeah. Hey man, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man, and giving the audience a chance to learn more about you, man. So I really appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you on the next show. Take care.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for their support, those of you that have been watching all of our podcasts. If you're interested in donating to the Stage is Mine podcast, you can send that 2 ways, via PayPal or Cash App. Our Cash App is Terry from the A, and our PayPal is EETV101. Support this machine today to help us continue to do what we're doing. Also, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the Stage is Mine podcast, email me today at EETV@yahoo.com or call 334-498-5394. Thank you very much. I want to thank you for tuning in to today's program. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for all things pertaining to the Stage is Mine podcast. Until next time, take care. Go for broke, give everything, better yet, give your all. They don't want to see you win, nevertheless, show evolve. Want to see my demise, you can be in for a surprise, cause the sun ain't about to set.